I cannot see who's commenting on that Facebook because I'm using StreamYard. So today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics. We're talking about periods, okay? Let us talk about why I'm obsessed with periods. I love periods. I love going on my period. I love your period. I love everybody's period. I love asking about periods. Periods are my thing, okay? Why do I love periods? I love periods because it is an indicator of overall health. So every time my period comes, I'm so happy that my period is here because that means I'm healthy. That means everything is good with me. That means all is well, right? So you do not know how precious a period is until your periods stop coming. So I have women that are in their 30s and their periods stop coming. I have women in their 20s that I know whose periods have stopped coming. So every day that your period comes, every month that your period comes is a blessing. Let me tell you why. This is an indicator that your hormones are functioning, number one. So that means estrogen is great, progesterone is great, everything is great. I'm healthy, my liver is working, I don't have liver damage, I don't have kidney damage. Whenever our bodies are under significant stress, our stress response for women is let's shut down the reproductive system. We can tell this because look at the devastating moments of your life, ladies. Whenever you've had something devastating happen to you and you see your periods, you'll see that whenever you're super stressed, your period is late. I look back at some of the most traumatic times in my life. For example, when my brother died, I started mapping my periods when I was a teenager. I have a record all the way back. I'm in my 30s. I have a record all the way back to when I was a teenager about my cycles. Every month, I have every single piece of data. I'm obsessed. And you can see when my brother died, the stress caused my cycle to be delayed. I look back when my father died, the stress caused my cycle to be delayed. When I got married, the stress of planning a wedding, my cycle was delayed. So when your cycle comes on time, it means all is well with you. Now, I can tell how healthy I am by how my body reacts during my period. Do I have headaches? Now I'm so in tune with my period that I can tell you, my period, I'm having this symptom because I ate this. Man, I was eating too much cheese. Man, I was eating too much of this. That's why I'm having headaches. That's why I'm having cramps. That's why I'm having, I see a clot coming out. That's why. So I love the period because it tells me whether or not I'm eating well. It tells me whether or not I'm exercising well. It tells me whether or not there's enough blood flow going down there. That is why I love periods. So if you are in a position where your period is not regular, it jumps up and down. 1 month it's 28, 1 month it's 34, 1 month it is just jumping around. That is telling you something. See, we're lucky as women. We have an indicator that every single month, every 28 to 30, 31, 32 days, we have something that can tell us how healthy we are. We have something that can tell us whether or not we need to keep doing what we're doing. And so when your period comes on time, you don't have any cramps, you don't have any mood swings. The mood swings that I used to have on my period, oh my gosh. I'm not a violent person, but that's the one time where I could have hit somebody just because I'm on my period. And we're told that this is normal. We're told that it's normal to want to hit somebody, to want to punch somebody. Can you imagine that? We're told that as women, it's normal to just be hormonal and just to want to smack and punch somebody, right? And so then they tell us that we cannot take positions of power because then we'll be too hormonal and we'll be yelling at people all the time. No, that's not normal. That's not normal. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to live a life where we're happy, where we're living in hormonal balance. So when your hormones are balanced, you don't need to punch somebody. You don't need to be mad at anybody. you are happy. So the mood swings are not normal. Okay, just because a lot of people have it, maybe normal is the wrong word. A lot of people will have that, but that doesn't mean it's right. Okay, so somebody's asking me if she needs to get off of her IUD. That is a personal decision that you have to make. I cannot make that decision for you. You just have to weigh your options. If you don't want to have a baby right now, and you could maybe do natural methods of contraceptives around ovulation, there are other ways that you can prevent pregnancy without birth control. But some people, IUDs are just the only option. That's just it. You can't do anything else about it. Unfortunately, we need to change birth control. We need to change birth control so it's not as harmful. Even the copper IUD, the non-hormonal IUD, causes changes to your cycle. You get heavy periods and other things. So we just don't have many options. For me, I don't have any birth control. I just use natural methods of contraceptives that do not harm my cycle. That's just what I do. That's what I can manage as a person, but not everybody can manage that. So it's a personal decision. If you need more counseling on that, you can talk to me and tell me your specific situation one-on-one, and then I can help you. I was talking to somebody last weekend who was saying, look, I'm not good at abstaining during my ovulation. I'm not good at this. So based off of her situation, she doesn't take pills. Based off of her situation, her best option is an IUD, which isn't a great option, but that's just what she has. That's the best for her in her situation. Me, I don't touch any birth control. I don't touch any IUD, but that's because I figured out other alternatives that work for me. So you're saying that your periods were horrible, and that's the only reason you're on it. See, everybody, I hope that you went on my Instagram and looked at the reel that I shot a couple days ago. So the very last reel that I have, it won't be hard to find because I deleted everything on my Instagram. It shows you a conversation between a doctor and a patient. And the patient is saying, you keep putting me on birth control. I have irregular periods. Why birth control does not solve the irregular periods? Because once you go back off of the birth control, your periods don't get regular. So that's a problem that we have. If you have irregular periods, and you're on birth control because of the irregular periods, you need to go down to ground base. That's the whole point of this live today. This live today is to tell you that your period is an indicator of your overall health. And so if you're having an issue with your period, there is an issue with your overall health. And it's fixable. It's totally fixable naturally. Okay? Somebody's asking, what are the examples of natural contraceptives you use, if you don't mind sharing? All right, I know exactly when I'm ovulating, and so I just avoid getting pregnant when I'm ovulating. That's exactly what I use. There are herbs that are out there that are natural contraceptives. I personally do not take them myself, but I'm there to offer suggestions. There are 20, 30 different herbs that are out there that are natural contraceptives. But for my method, somebody's asking my particular method. I know exactly when I'm ovulating, and I know exactly how to avoid getting pregnant when I'm ovulating. That's what I do. Okay. So also a part of periods is really knowing and understanding when we're ovulating. So the menstrual cycle is a whole entire thing. That entire 28 to 30 day, whatever, we'll just say 30 days for simplicity's sake. That entire 30 days is telling you if you're healthy. When you're ovulating, are you ovulating at the same time? If you are, great, you're healthy. If your ovulation is everywhere, then that's a serious sign of a problem. If you aren't ovulating at all, that's a sign of a health problem. Okay, so we're lucky as women. I can enter into my cycle knowing, yes, it came on time. Yeah, I don't have any symptoms. I am healthy. Okay, my hormones are balanced. This is amazing. All right, let's talk about the flow. If you have to change tampons and pads frequently, there is an issue. You should not have heavy flow. That is an indicator of health. Whether that be fibroids or whether that just be something's wrong with the thickness of your lining, whether that be maybe there's just a hormonal issue. If you're bleeding too much, that's a sign of an overall health issue. You see. Also, if you're spotting before your period, that is a sign of a health issue. You see, there's so many points within our menstrual cycle, within our period, where we can tell a lot of things about ourselves. Are you breaking out? Look at my face. I just finished my period. My face is smooth and clear. I haven't always been that way. There was a point where a couple of days before my period, pop, 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 pop. And I was like a horror movie, just with all the breakouts that I had. I have been doing the work to take care of my overall health, and it's showing in my hormones. It's showing in my face. It's showing in my cycle. What if you are spotting after? Somebody's asking about spotting after their period. So I need a little bit more information. How long after? Is it a day? So are you having heavy flow and then you have 1 or 2 days of spotting? Or is this like, I've got a week of spotting? So if it's just 1 or 2 days spotting after, that's fine. But if that's going for a long time, then that's a problem. Hi, Gigi Mac. Thank you for joining. Thank you everyone that's joining me. I'm on multiple different platforms here. So, all right, ladies, I have given you an in-depth lecture on your period health. Now, why do I love the period? Not only is it a time for me to know how healthy I am, but my period time is a time for me. When I'm on my period, don't book a lot of appointments with me. My boss knows not to ask me to do a whole lot of things. That is a time that I take care of myself. I know that, okay, I have these days where I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to spend more time on myself. I'm going to spend more time journaling. I'm going to spend more time reading. I'm going to spend more time eating certain foods. Sometimes I can get a little fatigued during my period. A little fatigue is okay. So that's my time. Nobody's pressuring me to do anything. Nobody's pressuring me. I don't have to have intercourse. I don't have, it's just me. I'm by myself. Okay. I love that time. It's time for me to connect with my body. It's time for me to connect with my fertility. I throw this word fertility out a lot. It doesn't mean that you're trying to get pregnant. Okay. I know 40-something-year-old women who don't want to have any babies, who maybe have never had any babies and don't desire to have babies. But your fertility is your state of being in good health within your reproductive system. I talk to women a lot about how that area is the area of love. That's the area that we receive love in, we show love in. And so we have to make sure that we are in a fertile state at all times. Whether that means you're actually birthing children or whether that means I'm just healthy. I just have healthy flow. I'm gonna have healthy menopause. I'm gonna go through everything. So fertility is not just so that you can have a baby. It's so that your reproductive organs, so that your hormonal function will be perfect and in perfect balance. So I actually have a resource for you. So I have a free little mini ebook. It's about detoxing with your menstrual cycle. So like I told you, whenever I'm on my cycle, I have a ritual that I do, okay? That's my time to connect deeper. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. He's my savior. That is my time to dig deeper with him. That is my time that I take out. I don't work as much during that time. I can work really long days, but I condense it. I don't book as many appointments. I don't do any surgeries. I don't do any sacrificing, none of that. That is just my time to connect, whether that's with more Bible reading, journaling, etc. So I encourage women to cleanse, detoxify, whatever. If you feel like things are a little out of order, I have ways that you can do that with your cycle. So I have a little free resource. You can DM me, you can PM me, whatever. And I'll send you this little mini guide and it'll tell you, okay, Days 1 through 7 of your menstrual cycle, this is what's happening. You are going through a time where you're shedding that cervical lining. So these are the things that you should do. You should be eating foods like this during your period. And then, okay, in the middle of your cycle, that's when you're ovulating. So these are the better things to do. It talks about exercise. It's just changing your lifestyle so you can really come to accept, love, and appreciate your menstrual cycle. That menstrual cycle is a gift, honey. That is a gift. So every month that you get your cycle, let's get out of the habit of, oh, my on flow is coming. Oh my gosh. Let's get out of that. Let's get to a point where we're like, whoa, yes, it came on time. And then if it comes a little later, let's look at it and say, okay, my period came after 35 days. Why did my period come so late? Am I stressed out? Is it something I'm eating? Go through trial and error. Okay, I see that whenever I drink low-fat milk, that I have bad cramps during my period and my period comes late. Let me try to remove that for a couple cycles and see. Okay, if you need any help along your journey with cycles, like I told you, I'm obsessed with menstrual cycles and stuff like that. I don't know what God has put in me, but this is my thing. And I have been obsessed with making my period where it is today. I have spent the work for the past 10 years combining what I learned in school with the School of Hard Knocks, and I have managed to work on my period. Lisa is saying, you've just given me a whole different perspective on my period. A period is a thing to be cherished. It's a thing to be loved. In order for you to have, she has a set of twins and she just had a baby last year. In order for you to have your children, you have to have that period, right? Imagine how powerful that is. If you never had that period, you would never have your beautiful family. So we have to change our perspective and see how powerful this thing is, okay? So I'm glad that you joined me for this. Go back, do some homework. Is your period regular? Are you having painless periods? You can get to a place where it's regular. You can get to a place where it's painless. It should be a wonderful experience for you. And I'm here to help you on your journey, okay? So go back, do your homework, and then I'll see you on the next Facebook Live. You on Instagram. I will see you on the next IG Live. I've got some good content for you on Instagram, by the way. Stay tuned.